So, just some thoughtful conversations here. I want you to make sure that you listen to me and listen to me well. I don't want to be misconstrued in my comments, but let me say this as a matter of fact, that America is no longer a Christian nation. America is a nation that has Christians in it, but it is no longer a Christian nation. We threw down the cross and told God to get out a long time ago. We pushed him out of our schools. We pushed him out of our homes. We pushed him out of the public square in the discourse. We are now pageantry Christians. We're politicians who have absolutely no inkling to do as they say that they will do, will place their hands on the Bible and swear by God to fulfill the oath that they have been elected. We will have people sit up in court and place their right hand on the Bible to promise to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God, and then flat out lie. America has been telling God that we don't want him for years. And now that America is feeling the wrath and God is pulling the protection away, lowering the hedge, America is now in an all-out free fall. The only thing that is going to save us, and I truly mean the word save us, is a complete course correction.
We live in a world where language and communication have become politically correct. We say bullshit. This is In the Trenches. We talk about what we want, how we want. Real and raw. From the military to veterans, society, spiritual, government, education, and everything in between, we're having real discussions about it all. Let's do this. This is In the Trenches. And now your host, Joss Young.
Hey, welcome to another episode of In the Trenches. This is your host, you already know, the J, the A-S-S-I-E-M. And of course I have Chris, my road dog, my other road dog. But today is going to be a hot topic as we will be discussing, is America still a Christian nation? And I know you notice, if you're watching or if you're listening, if you're just listening, we don't have the one and only Dr. Baker. You know, he's under the weather right now, but you know, we still have the other part of the inside circle of In the Trenches. Chris, welcome, my brother.
Man, let the church say amen. Well, I don't know if everybody gonna be saying that, because after this debate, we're gonna ruffle a couple of feathers. It's gonna make some people get some alcohol. Yeah, I know we just had Thanksgiving and much more, but go ahead and get some in the stores, because you may need it after this one. We're going to be rushing and running to the church after this, or that may be a little aggravated at. So we're going to see how this one goes.
It's going to stir up something in someone's church or in their heart, their feelings, their emotions, their spirit.
All the above.
Everywhere.
Something that need to be talked about, because you know how a lot of people like to scuff something like under the couch or the rug, so they don't want to talk about it. They're afraid to. But guess what? We don't give a damn.
We don't give a rat's ass.
We're going to talk about it.
That's right. Real and raw.
We're bringing that barbershop talk to the mic. We're going to say the things that y'all afraid to say, and we'll say it here live. So let's get it on.
So damn scared to say it, you know, because, you know, what's funny, man, is the fact that the stuff we talk about is the stuff everyone discuss, but they scared to get on
all
the
time
to say what they feel, you know.
No. Hey, wait. Yeah. They're not afraid to say in the comments, but when you say something about come on the mic and come on a live show, they like, wait, I don't like, no. Keep that same energy. Yeah. Bring it. Because we need transparency. Because that's how
transparency, everything going to shits anyway.
as we keep saying, bring your ass to the damn mic. Hell, if you say you feel something, we'll probably send you the invite link anyway. But look, you may be late. Get on this damn show and speak your mind.
Hell yeah. So, man, this topic here is America still a Christian nation? Man, in the beginning of the show, that gentleman, in my opinion, just summed it all up. Only thing that I have to say that I disagree with is when he used the word no longer Christian as if it was already one in the past. And if you look at the past, they never acted as a Christian according to scriptures.
You gonna have me looking up Googleations.
That is not a Western ideology or theology versus what is actually the truth that took place over in the Middle East, known as in some Israel. So, with that being said, that's the only thing that I have to disagree with him about.
So let me go ahead and say something right now. Say add on that too. Like, if you do some research, Googleations, as Dr. Baker would say, we all know that well, I'm not going to say we. This country has basically stolen, robbed, dragged people. We're talking about from slave trade, religion, and much more, and brought over here. It's basically a huge melting pot. And you got other different countries that think we're just basically bullies. So to say that we were originally Christian, have we forgotten the natives? I'm talking about the Indians and much more, and that how their history has possibly been wiped out. So yeah, and then we always say that we were one nation. I mean, come on now. So we're just gonna toss this under the rug and act like it never happened.
Man, I'm gonna.
We're just gonna, with all the bloodshed that we. Man, look, I'm about to be sending you links.
Now I have to agree to disagree. You said two things that brought to mind. You said United States is a melting pot. United States, I don't know where they got whoever came up with this analogy, but United States has never been a melting pot. Never been. Never will be in the direction that is going. Never.
Gotta bring me some more some potatoes and carrots and all that in this pot.
So let's look at it like this. Melting pot. What is a melting pot? Just a melting pot. Let me ask you this. What is that?
You asked from my perspective?
Your perspective, what is a melting pot?
From my perspective, using that analogy is like a lot of different ingredients put all into one. Or a lot of different cultures or people placed into this country.
But you forgot one thing about the melting pot. When you put all the different individual ingredients together,
where you better go with
what happens? It has a better flavor of whatever that's in there, and then it makes the flavor even better when you put heat on it.
Shoot, not everybody can cook with this pot though. I get where you go.
And so, for those that know how to cook, you understand what I'm saying. Is that
for those who know how to cook,
when you put a little bit of heat on it, because what happens? Everything melts together.
So you're going with the phrase of union, like everything comes together in unity. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. So United States technically is not a melting pot because everything is more about divide and conquer. So how can you be a melting pot?
I'm split with that because I do agree with that because it goes back to what you were saying earlier. Because like when you put all the ingredients in, what's supposed to happen is you mix in and have everything good and tasting good, or everybody getting along together. Mm-hmm. But on the other side, I'm gonna be a devil's advocate. You can put all these ingredients together, or you can have the person that don't know how to cook, and you get chaos. And in my opinion, I feel like what we're reaching right now is a lot more chaos and unstable right now because we have all these different beliefs and things going around, and we keep pressing and pushing the Christian nation, and we're having a lot of backlash because not everybody wants to follow that inside of this country.
So when you have a melting pot and you have an ingredient that don't coincide with the other ingredients, what do you do the next time?
You better choose a whole nother damn recipe.
No, you don't have to choose a recipe. It's very simple. You don't use that particular ingredient. So why is the United States still using the same ingredient that's not working for all these years and trying to say it's a melting pot? And you know it's not working.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick with your analogy. So my question to you is, how are we gonna get this ingredients or the people, or I guess whatever one uses a metaphor out of this? Because you're gonna have. So I'll just say I'll stick with the metaphor. Some bad ingredients that don't want to leave this pot. They sticking to the pan. They're like, I ain't going nowhere. I mean the pot. You know what I mean?
There's always a way to get that ingredients out. There's always, you put more of the other ingredients to drown out that bad ingredients.
That's that grandma's wisdom right there.
You see what I mean? But United States is not even doing that. And I'm just using that analogy when you said the melting pot. And then when you said about, the Indians being wiped out, hell yeah. I mean, we just had, not too long, Thanksgiving. Why are we really technically celebrating, or the United States is celebrating, and the world is now picking up on the United States doing this because they're doing it, Thanksgiving. Do you really understand the reason behind Thanksgiving? Do you understand that behind Thanksgiving, Indians were killed? The ones that helped.
It's a pagan holiday.
To teach how to hunt and everything else, and they were backstabbed? This is what you're celebrating technically.
So what America, I'm pretty sure other countries do, but I'm going to stick to America since we're on the top of the Christian nation, likes to put, let's say, a cover on things so it don't feel so bad or taste as bad. And so what it tries to promote is this unity of people coming together and fellowship of eating together. I mean, just in celebrating all together in one in happy union. But underneath this cover, like you're saying, it's all of this bloodshed that has happened in the history that has been documented. And that is what correct. America does on this holiday is it tries to put the sheet over and say, no, it wasn't that bad. And especially for those who are natives and have a legacy, I know they get offended because they're going to probably, and I can't speak because I'm not one, but they're probably like, how the hell are you going to celebrate a holiday where you killed off half my ancestors?
Exactly.
So is that Christian? So is that Christian ways? Since we on this topic,
my point exactly. So I mean, that's why I said the brother in the video, I totally agree with what he was saying. United States may have Christians in it, but the country is not conduct themselves. The way they conduct themselves is more of a Christian than in the United States. They get along with people that's in the country that are not Jewish. They are Muslims, Palestinian, and those that worship.
You know what's so hypocritical about that? Like, and I'll let you find the text you want to. Don't basically the Jews were used to actually promote a lot of different things in the walk throughout Jesus and much more to help the people. But when you come here and look in America, it's like we backlash them like they done something completely wrong. That right there by itself says a lot. So it goes back to this. Are we really a Christian nation? Because we're so much of a hypocrite when you really think about this.
We are, because one, let me ask you this. This is what I think, and I wrote this down. United States likes the label, and some people like the label of calling themselves a Christian. What is your take on that? That's my own thought and what I've seen. People love labels. So
That's a
United
whole
States is not
podcast
any
spot.
different, and
That's
they
a
love the label to say and appear that they're Christians.
man.
And people that
I'm a,
claim to be Christians don't conduct themselves as Christians.
that question right there is loaded by itself. You can have a whole episode by itself just on that. But I'm gonna put my point of view when it comes down to that. Is like you have these labels. You have the Christian label, and depending on your background or your perspective or who taught you what a Christian was, you are going to walk and move that way, even if it's right or wrong, because you're going on what someone else told you. And so if you think it's okay to do certain actions based on your environment or whoever you follow teaching, you're going to at times, if you don't challenge it, think that as absolute, like this is the way. And that clashes with a lot of other people's perspective when it comes to Christianity. And then on top of that, you have people's own, let's say, personal, personal, what I'm looking for, I'll say selfishness. I'm just going to say it like that. I know that's raw, but a lot of people like to use a lot of scriptures in their own personal benefit and use it in selfish ways. And it goes from the people in the pews, and the pastor in the pulpit, the deacons, and much more, like to pretty much say, oh, I am a holy Christian, you should follow your way. And let's not forget about judgment. Holy shit, let's not forget about judgment. You have a lot of people who walk around here and act like they ain't got shit on their drawers, and like to judge a lot of other people when they have their own faults as well. And it goes back, are we really a Christian nation? And don't let me get started on the politics. Oh, that right there is just it's a wormhole. I mean, it's just back to back. Like our actions when it comes that, like, it really contradicts what a Christian is about. Like the way we treat different cultures or among ourselves or family members and much more. It really does go against a lot of things what we say is a Christian. But we love to defend it depending on how we feel, who is in power, or our selfish or personal benefits. Because let's be honest, we're all human beings. We don't like being judged. We don't like being wrong. And we allow that to pretty much say, even though I may be hurting this person, I want majority of the people to support what I believe, and I'm going to be the one right. And I want to be the one leading. So it's like, screw what you talking about. And there's this power struggle behind this. And so, like, where's the love in all of this? Like, honestly, because in my own personal belief, I feel like when you're talking about a Christian's way of movement, there should be a lot more love. But instead, what I'm seeing is a lot of hatred and power control and wanting of domination and basically bloodshed as well. It's like, and when I say bloodshed, it's like, screw what you believe. I'm killing y'all off, and this is what you should follow. And as a history documents, and I mean, that has been documented throughout history all the time when it comes out of that. We have a huge black eye on that. But that's my take.
See, you basically brought up what I have in my notes is the history of evil is in the United States or America from the past to the present. It's more about money over faith. Money, or let me rephrase,
that goes
power
into
over faith.
That goes into the political. I mean, that's not a lie. When it comes to elected officials, and this is local to the national, I mean, certain churches will move a certain way if there's money involved. So again, it contradicts how we really move like a Christian nation, because money moves people, regardless. Of, I mean, it's really
they forget and they lose the values, if they even had values in the first place.
And if you don't have money, you're a heathen. Oh Lord!
I mean, you hitting the hammer on the nail. Let me ask you this: I have here. There's no core principle of Christianity without hitting agenda here in the United States.
I completely agree with that, because even with the way that we move in the political, in the news and much more, this is always a political movement in some way of their motions. It's not like I know we can't be completely perfect, but I would say like what I think should happen is like for the majority of the people, it's like more of a political agenda for whoever is in power to sway the people to move this way. And if not, it's like they will use marketing or whatever motives to swing people into that different direction. So that's my take on that.
Mm. Mm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but that is one of the biggest issues that I notice. And I know people that's listening and watching, you're watching and you're listening to In the Trenches podcast. And hey, you could have been any other podcast, but you watching us because you know you want the real and raw discussion and things that
I hate to interrupt you, but I want to bring this up because I know you're gonna like be ad lib off of this. The whole Kamala Harris campaign. What was the issue that she focused on?
she was focused more. She wasn't focused on Christianity.
But what was like, and I told you this too as well. And I actually went to the convention.
What was it? You're gonna have to refresh my memory because
Abortion.
yes,
that was the biggest push in her campaign.
Yeah, it was,
and that was the biggest back and forth backlash. It's like you split the whole nation because you had, I mean, look, it's highly debatable and it's sensitive. This is a raw podcast. I'm just saying how it is. You have those who want women to have the right of their bodies to choose what they want to do, especially if they want to abort a baby. Mm-hmm. And they felt like their rights were being taken away, and they were using in defense. Like sometimes you can put the mother's life on the line if you don't abort the baby and all that much more. Then you have on the other side of the fence that says like, if you do this, you're not an actual Christian. You're taking someone's life away. And then you have this whole argument where they try to bring some kind of actual facts of like when basically during pregnancy, like when it's actually considered a human being and all that much more. We have this all back and forth. And it's like, okay, so it really rattled like what are our Christian values on just one subject of abortion, because it split us completely.
Well, that it really shouldn't.
It shouldn't have.
But because see, the thing about it is this, and we're going to talk about this abortion relating to Christianity since you brought this up. The dictionary defines murder as the unlawful premeditated killing of one human being by another. Correct?
Correct. Textbook.
So, with that concept, right? Mm-hmm. The key word is unlawful. Premeditated. And premeditated means what? You already thought about it before you put it into action.
Right.
Okay? So, now, at the fetus stage, when the fetus has a heart and the brain and it's pumping, it's alive. But when you abort it, isn't that still murder? And if you look at the scripture, it says, thou shalt not what?
Kill.
So is that not kill, which is an unlawful and is with premeditated?
And that's why I brought that up. Because it's a split with people arguing for or against that because of what you just said.
But the thing about it is people want to serve. This is the problem that I see in the United States. Why the United States is really not a Christian nation. They want to serve two masters.
And what are those two masters?
They want to serve the spirit and they want to serve the flesh.
Flesh.
And one is lacking. And the one is lacking is the spirit because they pulling more to the flesh than they do the spirit.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they try to justify their actions when they're wrong.
Oh, yeah, because they said, I mean, look, they want to be right. That's the ego. All the way.
And
straight up ego.
And back, and how you define Christianity. The religion that's based on the person and the teaching of Jesus of Nazareth, right? Mm-hmm. So it's based on him and the teaching. So what lessons in the United States that reflect his teaching to say this nation is a Christian nation.
And that's why I brought that up of like your environment, whoever's teaching you, because let's not lie, when whoever a church is, I'll keep it simple, is their leader, all of the followers in that church is going to basically, and to their own right, defend whoever's leading that church. So if you go against what that leader says of that church, even if it's wrong, those members will pretty much throw you as outcasts to defend their leader.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
because they put them above God.
Exactly. And so if you have a bunch of pastors, and I'm using this for example, so you'll listen to my words carefully, because you know people take this out of context real quick.
Yeah, they do it.
So I'm just, for an example, if you have multiple pastors who are using their own selfish agenda to push a message, and you have followers that are dedicated to defend that, won't that cause a confusion and more corruption throughout I'll just say the community, if you have those who are taking the lessons from that leader out into the world as they should?
Mm-hmm.
There's things to think about.
I agree. I totally agree. The other part of that I agree with the gentleman, and I know some people may not agree, but probably disagree, is God is, and I've been saying it for a long time, especially when I'm sitting and discussing it with my wife, that God has been whooping United States ass.
Woo!
Ever since they took prayer out of school. And if you notice, when they took prayer out of school, how the school started declining, how the kids started declining.
A huge domino effect. And now, like, even with them trying to, let's say, include biblical teachings in the curriculum, you're having a backlash of that.
Well, you and I talked about that.
Yeah, I know.
Because not everybody can teach and everybody understand. Everybody can comprehend and really go in depth in the scripture to be able to teach it on a level for people to actually to understand.
And I agree with that, because you may have actual educators who may not even follow the Christian faith. No. And now you're telling them to teach it. So their own bias is going to influence whatever they teach to their kids. And that's going to cause a conflict, because I guarantee you're going to have parents, and whatever their beliefs is going to be like, how dare you allow this educator to teach my child this when what is their background? As a matter of fact, they may be atheists. And you're trying to tell them you want them to teach my child? I can just see like the whole backlash out of this.
I agree. I mean, this is it's going to be to the point where it's going to end up going to the Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah.
But I still say America is not a Christian nation. Look how it conducts themselves. Look how the politicians, as the gentleman said on the video, will put their hands on the Bible and will still sell their soul for the money and not for the people, but call themselves a Christian when they do not even align into the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. So, and then how can a nation call themselves a Christian when you intentionally destruct and destroy other countries from either within or without,
hold
economically, or in actual war?
Now, let me add an example too, and I agree with you. This is a made-up example. And this happens all the time in America. And I'm not apologizing for saying it. So I'm going to take two different scenarios. So let's say we have this great park. It's in a community that's been struggling and needs something to actually give the kids in the community something to keep them out of trouble. You have this beautiful park that's been established. The community is all happy that the kids are now staying out of trouble. They have more activities and it's going well. Like this has been great for the community there. But hold on. But the question is, how did they get the funds to actually build that? So, and then there's someone's going to be like, well, this is a Christian move, or this is showcasing the faith of believing in God and see what we've done to the community. But then we look underneath the sheet, the cover, and we really dive in how was the funds being made. Is just one example. And we found out the funds that was obtained by this was through bloodshed, destruction in different communities, or bombing another country and much more, and pretty much being hostile to get those funds. So was that really a Christian move? When here it looks all good, but the actual motives and things to be done to actually establish that were horrible to some other people. So was that actual a Christian move? Or better yet, you can have someone who has, and now these are all made up of scenarios. This person built a great, let's say, homeless shelter takes the homeless off the streets, and people are, very excited about this. And it's an act of God and much more, and it's building up the community, and it's all great. And then you find out where the funds come from to build this establishment, and you find out it's from drug lords, people who assassinated and killed people on the streets and took people in advantage of them and just basically smuggled the money as a safe haven or in different ways as a tax write-off so they won't get caught. I mean, this stuff happens all the time. So again, are we moving as a Christian nation, even though it looks good on the surface level? I mean, this is stuff people are afraid to say, but it happens all the time.
Yeah, you right, and then you have some people that go along. I mean, they go along to get along when they know it's wrong,
and it pays the bills,
and
just making me feel better.
And so, if they go along to get along, then I see people have to really evaluate themselves. Are you really a Christian? Or are you just a show, a label?
I honestly feel like a lot of times it's just for show, or they're praying. This is so
you're trying to take advantage of someone, because I know a situation that someone took advantage of other people. Say, "Oh yeah, I'm a Christian." They play gospel music, if that's the case, or they might know one or two little verses or remember certain little things that they heard from a pastor, and then they try to use that just to take advantage of the person, but they're not a Christian. So how many of them are in the United States? It's quite a bit.
Right?
It's quite a bit for the United States to be in the situation that it's in now.
May hurt
and look the way it looks.
May hurt the people's feelings. And it's a raw show. So we got to talk about it all. I'm laughing about this because I know I'm pissing people off. All right, so what about the women out there who sell themselves out there through sexual service and needs to get the funds, and then years later, like, oh, I had a breakthrough and God did it. Wait a minute. You're saying God did it? So you're trying to tell me that God told you to spread your legs for all these men and much more, even though you may have kids and they be putting them through trauma, and you're trying to tell me that was Christian-like? So you're trying to tell me that was a breakthrough? We're just going to ignore all the trauma that you did to your child and all the other things and deeds that you did in the streets and had your name out there. And then on top of that, you praise yourself as a powerful woman, and you want others to follow. You want other little girls to follow, and you claim yourself as a Christian?
Now,
but let me go and be even, because if we flip the same way, let me get on us, because you got guys who do the same thing, big in the community and much more, establishments and big tricking, and got their own kind of girls doing their kind of way, pulling funds and much more. So it's a two-way street. So yeah, I'm not gonna leave us fellas out, because we got some tricks out there that do the same thing. Keeping it real.
I like that scenario. I like that, because when you look at the woman in the scenario, she's trying to justify her actions knowing that it was already wrong in the first place by placing the blame on God when it was actually her. So in other words, in that scenario, it's more of a grown child still acting as a child. And what I mean by that is simple. When a child knows what they're doing is wrong, are they going to get in trouble? Are they going to get caught or whatever? What's the first natural fleshly thing that they're going to do?
I don't know.
They're going to
Wasn't
blame
me.
somebody else because they don't want to be held, what is the word?
Accountable.
Accountable. And so if they're held accountable, now they're responsible. Now they have to work on changing their ways because now they can't do what they want to do. They have to do what they need to do. That's the difference.
Let me add something on this one too. I'm gonna hit us
because they want to have this fleshly control, like they can control everything, when in fact they cannot. And that's the way I see the nation. And I agree with Baker when he said America is the great hope.
Oh.
Not a Christian nation, but a whole nation.
And let me hit this one too, because we're getting a lot of points that people have been talking about in the barbershop, and we're saying it now. You have guys out there who, throughout the wrongdoings of doing, let's say, drugs, what the hell are they doing, and pretty much getting the praises when they know underneath they are crooked as the next person. And then when they get to, let's say, the accountability part, or they're about to get busted, they're going to be like, well, God wanted this to happen, so it was destined to happen. Like, hold on, pause. Wait. So you just going to run away from your accountability, from your own actions, and say it was just destined, or it was due to happen? Like, God, no, I'm like, that right there gets on my nerves too. Yeah. Like, oh, hell no. Nah. You ain't going to do that bullshit. You know damn well what the hell he was doing, and you didn't give two shits. And now you want to say it was destined?
And that's why I said I agree with the gentleman that was on the video when he said that God has taken his hands off the United States, off America. He's taken the protection, and he has been taking the protection. His hands has already been completely off for several years. He's even stated that he's noticing that. But the thing about it is, some see it but won't say nothing. Some see it but won't do nothing.
Because you know what? You don't want to know why? Pure pressure. Look, we like to acclaim ourselves as Christians. And the thing is, when people who want to do right or want to say something they're going to give peer pressures to be like, you better shut the hell up or else. Oh, you want to say something? Oh, I'm going to take that money away. You can't do that. What about my...
I got an example for you. Since the way you talk, I got an example for you.
Okay, shoot.
Now, what the KKK always claiming to be Christian, but at the same time, they always want to burn the cross, claiming that they're purifying the cross. How can you purify a cross when you say you're Christian, which means you believe that Christ died on the cross and that blood that he shed cleansed everyone, not just the cross, but everyone? But this is what I'm saying. The nation
manipulation
is not a Christian nation, and they want to, and I agree with you on several points, that they want to take the word and be like Jim Jones and twist it and not look at the word for what it is, because they want to continue to do the evil that they do and hide behind the label. And I call it, and I believe it's a marketing label of saying that I'm a Christian. That is no actions behind the faith, because the United States has no faith. Unless and it's more about the religion that outweighs the Christian belief. I mean,
you know, it's a capitalist country. As long as it's marketable, they're going to be like, that is the main way to go. But going back to this KK thing, oh my God. Look, so saying it's purifying on the cross. Okay, so let's not forget about how much havoc that you put on Black lives and then kill kids also. And then you have, and still doing it. And then you have the nerve to say that is the way of. So you're purifying and pretty much now saying that it's okay to take people's lives? Aren't you supposed to see me as my brother? But you're doing this, and then not only just physically but indirectly. Now, this is more in the modern day society. We can say we would claim and move as a Christian, but indirectly or in indirect ways in business or in jobs, we're like, I'm not going to employ this person. I'm put the stereotype. Oh, you just another angry black man or a nigga. Oh, you want justice? Oh, shh. All the jury gonna be like, oh, he guilty. He even look like he's guilty. There's actual statistics. There's a whole. I'm gonna pull this website and send it to you. And we don't have no true just in this country, and that's why it aids on to this Christianity thing, because there has been so many wrongful convictions because of a bad jury or bias or like just because of what they think or say. And
even when you're voting,
and
it's not on Christian principles or Christian values. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm trying my best to find this website real quick.
And even if now they're talking about Project 2025. I saw in the news that the Heritage Foundation, which is being pushed by the Christian the right wing Christian folks. Well, they're not technically really Christians, because if you look at their actions compared to the examples that Jesus led and the words and the teachings of Jesus, what he went through, it does not line up whatsoever. So they really are not Christians themselves. And then besides that, how they look at other people that are minorities and they're judging. Christ included the not just the Jews, but the Gentiles and everyone else. So how can you say you're a Christian in the nation that's claiming to be a Christian, and you cannot accept everyone like Christ accepted and was teaching while he was walking? Not only that, why would you manipulate the real word of Christ by trying to make him seem like he was white when he was really black from the Middle East? Why?
It's a power move.
But you say you are a Christian, so you really, this nation is really more about power, manipulation, propaganda.
Oh yeah, absolutely, huge on propaganda and to control.
But people fail to understand, I believe,
because they like what's comfortable. And then, like, I sent you a link to this as well, and it's called the Innocence Project. They have found plenty of evidence of wrongfully convicted people in this. And share to your experience so people can see, because they're gonna be like, "I don't know what you're talking about," because people need to see this. So, like, if we're actually a Christian country, we should be giving people more rightful trials, giving them right justice. And the crazy thing is, you wrongfully convict people and be like, they lost years of their lives and they can't come back from that. And then you just release them and be like, okay, now you're free now. Wait a minute. No. You can't just do that. This person.
This is it right here.
This person lost. Yes, it is. This person lost the ability to work. They lost time with their family. They got a whole mark on their records now. They're gonna need funds to back up from that. You literally ruin this person's life, and you're gonna say, "Oh, we just gave them justice." How? And then they got more statistics with blacks and whites and much more on there. Letters received. I mean, that just blows my mind. Like, you get all these letters sent from people being like, "Hey, can you review this over again?" And we keep claiming that, oh, we put our hand on the Bible, especially during the court cases and much more, and say we're gonna rightfully do right for people. And we're doing this, and we're acting like it's a joke.
And we walk with
it's a joke.
We walk with no conviction, and because people have, or the nation have ignored God for so long, they don't even feel the guilt that they have done.
It's normal.
When they do wrong.
It's normal. It's sad, but it's normal for people now. Look at the statistics. Black. 58%, whites 33%.
So, I mean,
oh, and did you see that one? I was trying to show you, but I'll put it up. That's the biggest one right there, and I wish I'll say it. It says 63% of were involved in bad eyewitness misidentifications. That goes to stereotypes and much more, or how people feel. Like if you treat me as your brother and sister and much more and out of love, and you want to serve someone as in true justice and move in the Christian ways, so we're just going to go with stereotypes and all these other different things and bad labels. How are we moving as a Christian society doing this?
That's the question. What do you think?
Hell no, we're not.
How can it go from individuals and certain people of being Christians in America to getting it to become America actually being a Christian nation?
This is my honest opinion and how I feel about this. I don't think it's never going to happen. I feel like it's more of you have to know your rights and the laws and be very carefully how you walk. Not only, especially I'm just like here to hear, and make sure you have the right people connected to you to protect yourself. Because America, no matter what, is going to do what it wants to do. And so I believe you must educate yourself. Make sure you have the right resources and much more to defend yourself. Because I don't see this country just going completely all holy. Now, that would be great in, I believe, a fairy tale existence. But people are going to be people. So it's important that you protect yourself and be knowledgeable in a lot of different things. So if you do unfortunately face a situation, I hope you don't. Now I'll go to everybody. You are better prepared to defend yourself and have a fight so that you can get actual good justice or like live in a life that you should. And that goes from like the resources from building a house or to in job employment, because you got all different kind of things that people use Christian to be like, they can say like, oh, I didn't get the job and they didn't employ this person because of racism, but they like just keep praying about it. Like, what the hell? So the employer is completely racist and told that employee to keep praying when they know they did a job. It's a joke.
Yeah, I got you. Well, before we continue, we're going to pause for a commercial break. We're in the trenches. We'll be right back. We're going to continue to discuss, is America still a Christian nation?
Your past mistakes shouldn't define your future. At Payne & Payne Law Firm, we focus on cleaning criminal records of eligible people, giving you a clean slate. Contact Payne & Payne today for your fresh start.
All right, well, you're back, and I want to tell you, hey, today we're having a good conversation. Is America still a Christian nation? And Chris and myself, we both on the same page in regards to how how we view it. Now, the thing about it is, we don't want you to, those that's listening and watching, we don't want you to be thinking that that's because you see two black guys and we have some type
do
of
that too. Yep.
bitterness.
Yep.
It's not the case. We are real and raw. We state the facts that's in front. Just like if you was trying to go to court, you state the facts. The only difference is we don't manipulate the truth. That's the difference.
So even look, and I'm glad that you said we put facts. So I just sent you a link because I was like, okay, we got to add more facts. I can see people trying to tear us up after this podcast. So like I sent you a link, and this came from Pew Research Center. And you can if you put on the screen, you can go along with it together. We find some different findings. because it goes along with exactly what we're talking about. Because the first thing that it hits on one of the headings is the views of the U.S. as a Christian nation and opinions about Christian nationalism. And so this goes right into what we're talking about. So you won't just think it's just us.
Right. See, the views of the U.S. as a Christian nation and opinions about Christian nationalism. Most Americans think the founders of America intended for the U.S. to be a Christian nation, but more than 4 in 10 think the United States should be a Christian nation, and a third says the country is a Christian nation today. That's already a division.
Mm-hmm.
Because how can, and it goes back to what we were saying, how can you say it's a Christian nation today when you pay attention to the actions and then you try to justify the evilness of the actions to say it's a Christian nation? Not only today, but back then. This is what people don't do critical thinking when they process and when they're reading, and they don't do critical thinking within themselves to analyze the truth about themselves and the things that are around them. They prefer being lied to, and I've said this for years. American people prefer to be lied to, lied at, and they prefer, in some cases, to be lied about if it's going to get them ahead.
I hate to interrupt you, but scroll down to there's parts that I want people to see, and it goes back to what we both were talking about. And start where it says about a third of the Americans, 34%. So go down just a little bit more. A little bit more, we're almost there. Because like remember when I was talking about based on like your environment, how people are taught just a little bit more. It's like you can start, there you go, a third of. Now I'm gonna read this right from this. This is just not me. So you can stop. So if you thought he was just coming from me, like, oh, he's just saying that he has his own, like, no. I'm gonna read it verbatim. A third of Americans, 34%, express in some ways that being a Christian nation involves general guidance of Christian beliefs and values in society. That's what I said originally in the beginning. And I said, like, if depending on your environment, your beliefs and views may be this way or another, or sway to another way based on how you're being taught. And then I think this is another argument. If you go down a little bit further, I think about the 12%. Yeah, you can stop at that one. It says about another 12% of the public describes a Christian nation in terms of being guided by beliefs and values, but without specifically referencing God or Christian concepts. Didn't we not just talk about that? So it's not just us. Did we not just say that? Did we not just say that?
And a good example is that without specifically referring to God, let's look at counseling. People go to counseling. Am I correct?
Yes.
So when people go into counseling and you're talking to them, you telling your problems, and the counselor is saying, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And some of the examples that they given that they don't even know, the counselors don't even know, but they have PhDs, right?
Right.
Don't even know those values and those beliefs come directly from the Bible.
Right.
The examples directly come from the Bible. When atheists don't believe, but they don't even realize some of their beliefs and values come directly from the Bible. So, but they don't want to acknowledge God. So I believe this. This is ongoing.
So go down a little bit further, because this one I know you won't say something about this until it says about 1 in 5 Americans. I think it's a little bit. I want to skip it. It's probably coming pretty quick. Did it skip by accident? Probably not.
Some more?
Go back up. I think you went too far down. My apologies. It's going to say about 1 in 5. A little bit more. All right, stop. All right. Here's the part. Here's the part I'm talking about too. And I know you'll say something with this. About 1 in 5 Americans, 18%, describe a Christian nation as having Christian based laws and governance. Those who think the U.S. should not be a Christian nation are far more likely than those who think the U.S. should be a Christian nation to express this view. 30 verses 6.
So what is that basically saying? The United States is not and has not been, in my eyes, a Christian nation. You have more that's going against versus more that's going for.
All right, so let me give you the home run. Now scroll down a good chunk to the more other statistics, because a lot of people think it's all positive. And the header going to say this more than anything. I know we're going to piss some people off with that. So again, it's not just us. It's not just two African Americans. Oh, no. Just a little bit further. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. But no. This one right here is a nail in the coffin. No. Keep going. And stop right there. More have negative than positive views of Christian nationalism and are more unfamiliar with that term. I can't help but to laugh. It's not just us saying it.
More have negative than positive views of it. So America, as I keep saying, is not a Christian nation. Never had, never will be, unless, like the gentleman said in the beginning of the video before the show started, they have to change course. And to change the course, there's several processes, several steps that needs to be done. One, people need to look at themselves and be honest with themselves and question themselves. Are you really conducting yourself? And not just conducting yourself, are you even thinking like a Christian? And are you using the values and the beliefs and the example that Christ laid in the scriptures? If the answer is no, then you are the problem.
I sent you one more link, and we don't even have to go into the actual text. The picture itself from this website says a lot. And again, I don't think we're just bashing. This is coming from different other people.
Wow.
And I want you to scroll and stop and show that whole image. And again, not just us. We're just putting the facts, saying what y'all afraid to say.
This is crazy. When I say crazy, I mean crazy.
Oh yeah, this illustration right here is going to tear some people up as soon as you pull it up.
Yeah, just waiting for it to come up. But this is, I mean, it's one of those things that I don't know, man. I know the biggest thing is the fact that I see people running, making excuses.
Oh, you know, we love to make excuses. You don't want to have accountability.
As they say, you know, it's yeah. Right now, we're having some technical difficulties in trying to get that page up because
we definitely need to get this up.
It's one of those things that it's like, okay, all right, now it's working.
This illustration right here.
Somebody listening,
You're getting mad.
Listening or watching, they probably be like, yeah, see, y'all talking that, but see, we believe in what we believe in.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nothing but God.
Yeah. Show this image right here because I know it's gonna get under people's skin. What the heading say right there?
Huh?
What the heading say?
The heading says Christian America isn't dying, it's dividing. Oh,
look at the quote.
And look at the flag.
And look at the quote.
Look at the flag. Look at the flag. Look at that. Oh, and that's found on Christianity Today. So we're not speaking about something that we don't know and not feeling and not noticing. We're speaking truth. Even though it's unscripted and raw, it is what it is. Christian America isn't dying, it's divided. And I said that before about United States is divided. How can you be a Christian and you are divided? I said that in the beginning.
Right. Did you see the quote underneath it? If not, I can just go ahead and say it.
The quote says the greatest threat to the church today isn't what?
And go ahead and define. And go ahead and find it and define it, because that's gonna throw like, what is hypocrisy?
Defining hypocrisy.
Because then
okay. All right.
Because people gonna be like, I don't know what that means though. I don't know what you're talking about.
And of course, because people don't like to read and comprehend, they like to depend on other folks to tell them stuff. That's the problem. The lack of knowledge, as what Baker would say.
Or the effort of. There you go.
Well, it is.
What it say? Abandoning what? Or rejecting what?
A religion, cause, or political party are the state of having done so. It speaks for itself, people. The act of abandoning, rejecting, the two strongest words, abandoning and rejecting.
And for the last of a part of, go ahead and pull up religionism for them, because they're like, what's the other word though? We got you. Put your seatbelt on. They probably about to be flying out the car seat. Yeah, I said car seat. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay, because the more they understand this, what's this? The theory and practice of regional rather than central systems of administration or economic, cultural, or political affiliation.
There it is, folks. There it is.
So, overall, let me ask you this as we get ready to close. Overall, can America become a Christian nation? And if so, what needs to happen?
My response is, can America become a Christian nation? Yes. But does it want to right now? No. Because of their own political power or its own personal or selfish agendas. But we're going to go ahead and put that cover on so it looks good. Because that's what we want. But we're not going to have the actual actions to actually show true love.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to leave you all with this. First of all, the United States was founded on the principles that many argue were deeply influenced by Christianity. But today, America is more diverse than ever in its religious and secular belief. And in what way do Christian values still shape America's laws, culture, and identity? And at what point does a nation move from being a Christian in identity to simply pluralistic in practice? This is your boy, the J, the A-S-S-I-E-M, Jasim. Don't be bitter, be better. Think about it. Are you a Christian? Are you a Christian? Is America a Christian nation? And if not, what can you do better that you didn't do before? Hey, we see you on the next episode. So peace out.
You've been listening to In the Trenches. Real, raw, plain speak, without all the political correctness. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, reach out to TS&F Consultant and Management on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So long for now from In the Trenches.